it's Pfizer again. Welcome to another episode of Campus to Careers. And today I am with very talented Ash, who is also a student or has been a student at RMIT and recently finished her internship. She is an international business student, but I will let her talk more about herself. So, hi Ash. Introduce yourself, please.
Thank you, Faiza, for having me. Just to give a brief introduction, Ash, I just finished my master's degree of international business last year, and then I did an internship at RMIT as a strategy analyst, which I finished last month. And now I'm currently trying to navigate the Australian job market, secure a full time role. I'm just today here to have a conversation with Faiza to just have fun.
Absolutely. And by the way, we are at Canto Cafeteria or Canto. Is that Canto Cafeteria at RMIT? And we'll be having some coffee and enjoying their food. They've got some amazing food as well here. So highly recommend it again. Canto Cafe at RMIT University, Building 10. Correct? Yeah. All right. So some icebreaker questions. If you could describe your university experience in Australia with a coffee order, what do you think it would be? Just to give you an example, it could be coffee styles, like a mocha latte. What would you like it? What would you call your study experience?
I would say a shot of espresso because initially it's kind of hits you and you're overwhelmed with your assignments, figuring your life out at new country, just try get an understanding how the whole culture works here. But then you eventually get used to it and start having fun, make new friends, have new experience. I think that's how I would explain it.
Oh, fantastic. No, thank you, Ash. Now, the next question is around your first thought when you had your first interview in Australia for any role. So that could be a volunteer role. What were your thoughts around there? What did you experience or your feedback from it? Your learning as well?
I would say it was a mixed emotion. I was nervous. I wouldn't say I was nervous. I was nervous and excited at the same time because this was a new opportunity and working in a new environment, it kind of excited me. But getting that first job or a volunteering role, it's always nerve wracking, right? So it was kind of a mixed bag of emotions.
Fantastic. No, thank you. And what's the funniest or most unexpected reality shock moment you had? So it could be like a cultural, a reality shock, professional, or if you want to talk about any slang words or anything. So,
What kind of surprised me here is that everything closes after 5. Every shop, every tree, it's closed after 5, which was a huge culture shock for me because back in India, the shops are open until 10, 11. You can go out anytime you want. But here, it's like everything, it's closed after 5. So it was a weird, but now I'm kind of
You're used to it.
And other slangs like brekkie, aro, I try to figure out, oh, what that means, which was a funny interaction I had with some people. But it's kind of nice to experience new culture, I guess, and understand slangs or the phrases that they use here. So, yeah.
Fantastic. Excellent. Good to know. So you now know a lot of Aussie slang.
Definitely.
But you can always go late night shopping on Thursday and Fridays sometimes till 9 p.m.
It's usually quiet after 5.
That's the vibe. All right, moving on to some academic and career insights. So how different was studying in Australia as compared to back home?
I think it was a drastic change for me because I was working in India and then I had to transition into the academic part of my life, which was a huge change. But in terms of teaching or how the projects are being handled here, it's quite different because it's more hands on. You interact with your team members more, do group projects, and you also had work integrated learning. I think it is quite important to have that sort of experience, the practical knowledge, because once you graduate, you need to have practical skills and an understanding of how the corporate industry works or how our industry works. And I think that helped me, as I mentioned earlier, the internship that I did gave me an insight into the working culture here in Australia. I think it's very crucial to have that kind of experience and also working with team members. It gives a sense of understanding how you can collaborate with other team members and other departments when you are in a corporate culture. So I guess those were the two main changes or differences that I saw after coming here.
And also like differences as well. What I'm hearing is a lot of practical and hands-on learning as well. So that's fantastic. Good to know. Thank you. And what's the most fun thing about university life in Australia? So if you can name even a word or a sentence, what do you think it would be?
I think RMIT does a lot of events and activities throughout the year. So I think just enjoying it with your friends, even though I didn't stay at the campus like my other friends did, I stayed with my family. I missed a bit, but I think having those experiences along with attending the classes is equally important. So I think just having those fun moments with your friends, it's equally important.
Thank you for sharing that. If you could change one thing about how international students are supported, what would that be?
I would say helping them industry experience. What I mean by industry experience is helping them make new connections in the industry that they are trying to enter once they graduate. So one area of support I think the international student needs is helping them getting industry connections. I think that's one of the crucial support that they need because they don't have the understanding how things work here. But if they are able to help them connect with an industry guide or maybe some sort of mentor or coach, I think that would help them a lot just to understand where they stand and how to navigate the market, and also help them build the experience, provide them guidance on how to secure a job, whether it be a part-time job, a casual role, or maybe an internship. RMIT does provide a lot of opportunities, and that's how I got my internship as well. But just helping them in those areas, I think that would benefit the international students a lot.
Industry related programs out there. What you're saying is there should be a lot more than what is already there. All right. And what about one skill that you've learned in Australia and that you think that will help you and in your career in the long term?
I would say one of the crucial thing is how you communicate with people. I think because coming from India, communication is always has been a crucial skill, but it's quite different here in Australia because it's all about how you present yourself and how you articulate things. It's quite important because if you are not able to clearly convey what you're trying to say, people won't give you a chance, to be honest. So it's really important to highlight or maybe build the skill so that you're able to communicate what you're trying to say, and so that people can understand that. And I think that's one of the crucial things that I've learned after coming here.
Absolutely. So golden words from Ash, communication skills. Very important. All right. Ash, so questions around like a SWOT analysis style. So your strengths, weaknesses, opportunities, threats. So what's your biggest strength that you've discovered while studying in Australia? What do you think that would be?
I would say resilience and working with the team. I think those are the two strengths I realized I had, but I never knew that I had it in me.
Wow.
Resilience, I would say, obviously, considering I'm in a new country, culture, just adapting myself and just going out there each day, and despite difficulties, not getting a job or maybe not getting the grades I wanted. So I would say resilience and teamwork with all the group projects, working different roles, be it casual or an intern or in a corporate field. I would say working with different kind of people and just understanding other team members, working style, their needs and how they can work. So I guess those are the two qualities.
Thank you for that. So I understand that your biggest strength is resilience. So you've learned to cope with learning every day. Absolutely. Thank you for that. So moving on to challenge or weakness you would say you faced as an international student and how did you overcome it?
I would say I was a bit shy. I think that was one area I really had to work hard on to improve myself. Faiza might know that because initially when I met her, I was very shy. I was very conscious the way I was talking and how I was presenting myself. But now I think not overcome, but I'm still trying to improve. I'm trying to get there and be out there as much as possible, connect with people, just build connections. I think that's probably one of the areas of improvement for myself.
Absolutely. Thank you so much. And you are amazing, by the way, and you look gorgeous and you present amazingly. So, can I just say that? So, you've done an excellent job. Well, we've known each other for what, almost 2 years now? Yeah, amazing. And in terms of opportunities, what do you see opportunities for international students in Australia?
I think with the right mindset, and if you are able to understand what the industry is and how it's working, there is a lot of opportunities. You just need to tap into it. You need to be proactive. You need to, opportunities won't come in your way. You just have to look out for those opportunities, be open, and if you have the right mindset and the right attitude, I think you will have a lot of opportunities and you will get the job that you are looking for. So I think idea is to be open to whatever opportunities or whatever experience that's there. So
Thank you so much, Ash. And in terms of threats or challenges, what do you think international students need to be prepared for?
in terms of threat, I don't see it as threat. It's just I think it's about embracing it and adapting to it. But it's just like how demanding like the industry is. I'm not talking about any specific industry, but there's a lot of competition.
Yeah.
There's a lot of skilled students or graduates out there. But you just have to be patient and you just have to resilience and just be there each day and just keep trying and just keep working on what you want, and eventually you'll get it. So I don't see it as a threat, but rather than more as a learning opportunity. Just keep adapting to it.
That's great advice. Thank you so much. Golden advice. Aspirations and messages. So, where do you see yourself in 5 years' time?
That's a good question and kind of tricky. I'm still, to be honest, I'm still kind of figuring it out. But what I would like to say is I'm trying to look for a role as a business consultant in the strategy and the risk compliance field, because I believe that's where my strength lies and that's where I can see adding value for the company and for the community around me. So that's kind of role I'm looking for it, and hopefully within 5 years I'll get the role
Senior
that
most position. Hey,
definitely,
you'll be in a lead role.
yeah, in a lead role where I can help the community and the people around me, because I think working in the education sector has kind of inspired me and motivated me to help people and the communities that are around me. While I was working as an analyst at RMIT, I helped the tertiary and the education sector, and that's kind of motivated me to keep working towards it. So
Absolutely. That's amazing, Ash, and great goals. I'm also inspired by your spirit. Do you want to create lead? And that's where you see yourself, and I'm sure you will definitely get there. You've got so much energy. Oh, thank you. What advice would you give to a student considering coming to Australia?
I would say have fun. Just don't, obviously you need to focus on your studies as well, but have fun as much as possible, because I think that's part of the uni life. Have new experiences. Melbourne has a lot of fun activities happening throughout the year, be it artwork, some sort of cultural fest, even at the events at uni. Don't miss out on that, and try to make friends as much as you can. Connect with your professors, build industry networks, connect, and just be out there. I would say I think that's the only way to survive here.
Absolutely amazing. Thank you so much. And if you could send one message to Australian employers, recruitment agency or recruiters, what would that be?
Sorry, in terms of,
What message would you like to give to Australian employers?
I would say I've come across, as for me, that even the entry roles they require 2 to 3 years of experience, which sometimes to me doesn't make sense how that can be, because obviously with the T level or maybe some sort of graduate role, it kind of becomes difficult to have that kind of experience being an international student. But other than that, I would also ask about sometimes the visa requirements. It's kind of, they specifically want either a PR or a citizen for a specific role. I do understand where they're coming from, but from a probably privacy or risk compliance sort of role, probably they need it. For other roles, it kind of makes it more difficult for the international student to get into the industry, to get it foot. So I think that's probably one of the major concern for the international students while they are applying for these roles.
Thank you for that. Great message. And if you had a chance to sit down with the Australian government for 5 minutes, what would you like to ask or suggest?
Probably I would suggest to make the whole processing of the visa a little bit more simpler, because it's kind of complicated at the moment. There's a lot of back and forth with the policies and with the visa rules, and it kind of sometimes confuses us, considering as an international student when you're trying to apply for probably a permanent residency with all those visa changes and with all those regulations keeps on changing. I would suggest just keep it simple so that people can have an understanding of what's happening and how they can tackle it.
Yeah. So you're saying simplifying the processes,
Definitely.
irrespective.
Definitely.
Well, thank you for that message. Thank you so much, Ash, for joining me in this Campus to Career episode, making it happen for everybody, for me, for you, and enjoying the coffee still at Canto Café at RMIT. So, again, thank you so much for taking the time and answering the questions and sitting down with me. All right,
Thank you for having me.
My pleasure.
Really enjoyed the conversation, and it made me reflect and introspect my whole journey at RMIT. So I really had a fun time, and thank you, Faiza, for having me.
My pleasure. All right, we'll tune in for another episode next time. Thank you. Ciao.